platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action, the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We up in this thing. Post Thanksgiving broadcast. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live. Man, listen, man. How y'all doing, man? Did you have a good Thanksgiving, baby? Did you talk and did you congregate with the fam, with the friends? Did you have a good Thanksgiving, baby? Did you eat hearty? Did you? All right. Well, hopefully you did, man. I did all right, man. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. We ate pretty good. Shout out to my folks, Pops Q, Moms Q. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate them, man. We had a good time. My boys, everybody was chilling, kicking it. So I hope you guys had a good time like I did, man. So shout out to shout out to all you guys, man, and happy post Thanksgiving. As some of us, man, might have eaten too much. We need to recoup. So big ups to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. Listen, fam, on this broadcast, man, we're gonna kind of preview. We got the Saints Rams preview. We're gonna go over it, the keys to victory. Then we're gonna do live reaction as we get ready to this broadcast will roll right into the Saints Friday pressers, where you see Darren Rizzy and others step to the podium. We'll live react to that kind of early on right now, man. We got the Pels going. They play at 4:00. Then that'll be immediately preceded by the Pelican post-game report. Tonight we'll be opening up the phone lines for the family members to chime in. So this is why the coma is coming at you a little earlier. But shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. We up in this thing. All right. I see y'all, man. All right, brother Gundam. Shout out to you, bro. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. GM Kev is in this thing. Much love, Kev. Give him the keys to victory. OG Jerry. Big ups to you, my brother. Saying good afternoon, Q. Who Dat Nation. Hope y'all had a blessed Thanksgiving. Appreciate you, my brother. We did. I did. Hope you had the same. Cartel, shout out to you. Snake Bite, big ups to you. Toy, big ups to you. Good to see you, fam. Appreciate you as always. Mad Drummer, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you in this thing as well. All right, also big up to Saints Pales Chopping It Up podcast, brother Kai the Great. Shout out to you, bro. Good to see you in this thing as well. I'm always representing. Much love, my brother. Appreciate you, brother Willie Garrison. Shout out to you, brother Willie. Brother Willie got the Cuban cigar and the whiskey. That's how you know you ate good, brother. After you got a goddamn Cuban cigar and a glass of whiskey, man, that's like, man, you sitting up there like Don Carlio. You talking about everything going, yeah, man, we're going to have to see about what stocks we got to create. We got to be able to diversify stock portfolios here. And we made our Q4 portfolios was overflowing. Yeah, it was doing a good job here. That's what you got going on there, brother. Shout out to you as well. Big ups to you. Desi, what's up, Queen? Shout out to Desi. She said she ate good. All right, shout out to you. Okay, Desi. Desi said she got about 3. Okay, y'all eating good in the neighborhood over there. Jermaine, shout out to you, brother. Arvin, shout out to you as well, man. Appreciate you as well. Bronze Flat Power Guy, big ups to all y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. As always. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did pretty good, man. Molly Mall was popping, bro. Says Q. Yeah, that you had turtle. Nah, we ain't do none of the turtle soup, brother. That we don't do none of that, brother. We had some gumbo. No. Actually, some Militon, dressing, greens with turkey in it, because that's my mom's cooked it with smoked turkey in it. She loved, that was pretty good. Baked macaroni, sweet potato pies, the big dinner rolls and stuff with the butter on them. Oh man, turkey, 2 type of turkeys. We had fried turkey and we had we had it fried and we had it we had the fried and bake. I guess you could say brine or whatever. But we had some good we had some good eating, man, and I appreciate that, man. Everybody had a good time, man. There's plenty to to drink and eat, man. We had a good time, and it's always good to catch up with your folks, man, and see them and kind of talk. So it was pretty good eating, man. We ain't have the gumbo this time, but something tell me that'll be coming up in the next 30 days. Yes, baby. That'll be coming up soon. All right, so big ups, man. Appreciate y'all, man, for being in the stream. Marvin says Thanksgiving yesterday was loaded for me. Jambalaya, turkey, mac and cheese, Spanish artichoke dip. Yeah, you see, that's wonderful, man. That's what I'm talking about, brother. I hope y'all had a good time, man. And there's plenty left to eat out there. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all got enough turkey to make turkey sandwiches that last y'all the next into next week. All right. So big ups to the fam, man. We got I know, yes, the snake bite says gumbo weather right now. I know in the next 30 days, something tell me that's going to be happening, baby. Let me tell you something. But anyway, they got a poll in the chat, man. Feel free to check that out, man. Who wins this week? Saints, Rams? I don't know. And right now, we got 68% of the family members that currently have voted says the Saints win. 8% says Rams win. And 24% says I don't know who's gonna win. So that's fair enough, man. People don't know. Yeah, that's right, OG. Yeah, that's right, OG. He ain't lying. That's how it go, man. We're gonna get something good to eat. I promise you that much. But anyway, man, like I said, in this thing, man, we're gonna jump off into it. And like I said, the Darren Rizzy presser is set to get to going in about 40 plus minutes, and we'll roll coverage right into that, into a live reaction, then we'll clear out. But let me talk and get over some of this stuff because they have not yet released the Friday injury report. Currently, this is what they did yesterday. They released the Thursday injury report with 6 Saints players were listed on it. And of course, they won't have this one out until the Friday one comes out, probably not too long after the Darren Rizzy, right? During as Darren Rizzy is press conference started, it'll be, rolled out right around that time frame. So McCoy is listed as DNP for another Thursday. That's looking kind of bad. Lucas Patrick is also DNP'd. So after having a whole bye week since after he re-aggravated the groin injury, McCoy could very well find himself out this game. So he was DMP'd. It might be a game time decision. We'll see exactly how this all plays. But in the end, man, this is getting them back. And that's one of the things that I was kind of cautioning folks about, man. I was kind of cautioning people about that, fam, about, when you have a player that is very important to what you got going on, and the player, ultimately gets hurt or something happens with that, and then all of a sudden, you dealing with a lot of stuff there. So I don't. That's going to be a pretty difficult thing to deal with if McCoy is not there. But like I said, we waited since the Eagles game because he got hurt in the first offensive series of the Saints Eagles match, the Saints and Eagles game, and way back in week 3, and he missed all that time until he came back last week, re-aggravated the groin, had the bye week, and now he's DMP'd. So we don't know how all this is going to work out, but hopefully we'll find out if he plays or not today. We'll know because Rizzy more than likely will update us on that. And of course, the other stuff circulating around with the Saints, Lucas Patrick is also out with another calf issue. Foster Moreau limited with shoulder. Jamal Williams has the groin. He was limited. Pete Werner fully practiced. He has his hand wrapped. Passanio fully practiced, as he is. All indications are that ultimately you'll see Passanio return this week, and that's what they're thinking about. But yeah, this is the time when we get these little nagging injuries, and we'll see what happens with that. Okay, let's cycle down here and see if we can see what the Rams got going on. Not too much shaking on their end. Offensive lineman Alaric Jackson, foot issue, DMP'd as well, and then the rest of their guys. The cornerback Charles Woods he fully practiced with an ankle issue. The tight end Tyler Higbee, who's a problem, was limited with a knee issue. Rob Havenstein, which is a big part of their offense, he's been out for the last several games. He is due to return, and that is a big help for their offensive line to have Rob Havenstein getting back from the ankle issue. So he looks good to roll right to it. KT Levston also will play. He's dealing with injuries as well, but he fully practiced. So the Rams, from an injury standpoint, look a little bit better than what we're currently dealing with, right? I ain't gonna lie, but it all depends on what happens there with McCoy, keeping an eye on McCoy. That's why I was saying, fam, like, when we talk about some of this stuff, man, when you get to going and you have injuries, you can't just rest and say, okay, we're going to get these guys back and then we're going to be fine. It don't work like that. Sometimes you have setbacks, and we get McCoy back. He re-injures the groin, and he might be out for this game. Could be, we'll see. It'd be a game time decision, or he simply will be sit down. But it's very interesting that we had a bye in between the last game, and he's still DMP'd for Wednesday and Thursday. That's not looking good. And of course, Lucas Patrick, like I've said before, Lucas Patrick should be more of a rotational player, not a starter. And that's because of Nick Saldiveri, who just didn't step up. They were trying to give him an opportunity to take the guard position, and Nick Saldiveri kept getting hurt. He was inconsistent because he's basically a rookie. Even though he was drafted last year, he's basically still a rookie, right? Because he didn't play all last year. He was hurt all last year. And then when he finally gets an opportunity to play this year, he starts off, then he gets hurt in camp. Then he misses a bunch of time. Then he has to work his way back. And he's basically a rookie out there playing. That's why he looks crappy most of the time, right? So we had some time. And that was one of the things that I was saying, like, when we got extra time, let's go out here and try some guys out. Let's get on out here and see if we can find another wide receiver and some more offensive line help. Let's go out here and use this time for something. Saints ain't do shit with that time. They ain't do nothing with it. Oh, what we got is what we got. We're gonna roll with it, man. Listen, bro. We need to keep bringing people in here, man. Seriously. And then we had to buy. We should have used it wiser than what we did it. We should have brought some guys in here, tried them out from the offensive line perspective. We didn't do that. So we'll see what's happening with these guys moving forward, man. I didn't like how we didn't use our time correctly. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's get into some of the breakdown. Shout out to you guys. And this is an article right here by way of ESPN. Resurgent and rested Saints seek a third straight victory when they host the Rams. It says here, as you know, Saints are 4-7, 2-game winning streak, 3-3 at home. The Rams coming to this thing at 5-6. They lost their last matchup. They're 2-3 on the road. It's going to be interesting. You see the spread favors the Rams, 2.5-point favorites in the game against the Saints. The all-time series record between the Rams and the Saints. This is an old NFC West rival with the Rams and the Saints that go back to the NFC West when we were in there with the 49ers, the Rams, and the Falcons, the old NFC West. But anyway, the last time, as you can see right here, the meeting all-time series is 44-35 Rams way all-time. And the last meeting, Rams beat the Saints 30-22 in LA on December the 21st of 2023. Last week, the Rams lost to the Eagles badly, 37-20. Saints had the bye week. They defeated the Browns 35-14 on November the 17th. And this is some of the stuff we're looking at. The Rams offense overall is ranked 17th in the NFL. Rushing the ball, they're 26th in rushing the ball. They're 9th in passing the ball. So that shows you a lot. Stafford is the guy that really makes it go. And their scoring is 20th in the NFL. On the defensive side of the ball for the Rams, overall, they're ranked 26 on defense. They're 28th against the rush, 29th against the pass, and their scoring defense is ranked at 26th in the NFL. So you see right there the inability of the Rams, not all the time, but in most games, the inability to get the running attack going where they needed to be is problematic for the Rams. That's why. And also injuries have kind of stalled them off a little bit, and they have not been consistently able to have things turn into twist and form. But they're trying to get it going over these next several games to try to make a little playoff push. That's what they're trying to do. Now, the Saints offense overall are ranked 11th. They're 9th with the rush and rushing the ball, which is positive. And they're 17th throwing the ball. So their scoring is tied 11th in the NFL as far as that concerned. So the offense is doing better as so far as the times when the Saints do actually do some positive stuff offensively. It's helping out their overall stats, to be honest with you. On the defensive side of the ball, not so much. Saints defense ranked 31st overall in the NFL. They're 25 against the rush, 30th against the pass, and they're scoring at 20th in the NFL in terms of scoring defense. The turnover differential, the Rams are -3. The Saints are +2. They get -3. So anyway, the Rams players to watch in the matchup, and we talk about these guys all the time. The top key playmakers during these preview streams, they got the guy to watch is Cooper Kupp. Historically kills the Saints. Since returning from the ankle injury, Kupp has 37 receptions for 401 yards, 4 touchdowns in 5 games. Kupp, who has 2 career 100 outings in 4 previous matchups with New Orleans, needs 3 catches to pass Keenan Allen, who had 624 for the most through a player's first 100 games in NFL history. So Cooper Kupp make things pop for the Rams when he's flowing, and obviously we'll talk about him more in the broadcast. As far as this players to watch for the black and gold, according to them, they're saying it's Taysom Hill, who also takes snaps as a QB on special teams, coming off a career game, had a career best 138 yards with 3 touchdowns rushing against the Browns during the game. That also saw him total 248 yards as a runner, receiver, passer, and returner. The key matchup in their estimation is the Saints running game led by AK-41 and Taysom against the Rams defensive front. The Rams have to show up against the run after being gashed for 314 yards on the ground by the Eagles last week. The Saints have rushed for 197 yards or more in 2 of their past 3 games, including 214 in the previous outing against the Browns. And of course, these are some of the injuries to take reference of. The Rams are hopeful that right tackle Rob Havenstein, who should be back after missing some games due to the ankle. The offensive line desperately missed him. The last link to the team's time in St. Louis and losses to Miami and Philadelphia. Tyler Higbee returned to practice this week, but isn't expected to make his season debut yet. He tore knee ligaments last season's playoff loss at Detroit. McCoy still missing some time. He's DNP. We just went over that. We also talked about Lucas Patrick. And some series, no team hasn't won the past 9 regular season matchups. Rams coach Sean McVay will be facing his 3rd Saints head coach since 2019, Coach Payton, Dennis Allen, and Darren Rizzy. Stats and stuff. Stafford's passed for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns without an interception last week. Has 2 or more TDs, passing in 4 of his past 5 games. Has passed for 290 plus yards in 2 straight games. has scored 17 touchdown passes in his past 7 games against New Orleans, including at least 2 touchdown passes in each game. He needs 200 yards for his 12th career 3,000-yard season. You're looking at their running back, Kyron Williams, and his 9 TD rushing of season last week. Williams has 12 TDs in his past 11 road games, and he's rushed for 104 yards and a TD versus New Orleans last year. Williams needs 42 scrimmage yards for his second straight 1,000-yard season. Kupp caught his 5th TD pass of the season last week and has TD catches in his past 2 games. Puka has 9 catches for $117 last week, his 10th career game with 100 or more receiving, third most in NFL since 2023. He had 9 catches and a career high 180 scrimmage yards, a career high 164 receiving, 16 rushing, and a TD catch in his previous matchup against the Saints. So there's a lot of stuff going on just to talk about how fantastic their guys is. And when you talk about Puka and all these other guys, and like we said, we went through some of the stats that deal with some of these guys. And obviously, man, when you look at the Rams, like I said, they're not quite the juggernaut that we remember them to be. Like, there were times when they had Aaron Donald and these people made for a pretty scrappy team. Not so much now, right? Not so much now, but still very dangerous. Here's some of the statistics right here of some of their top people, like we're showing Matt Stafford's 2,800 yards. Like I said, he needs 200 yards to get 3,000. 15 touchdowns to get 7 interceptions. He's been sacked 26 times, has a rating of 93.2. We know about Matt Stafford. We know when we play Matt Stafford gets the ball out of there quick. He got a gun for an arm. He can move around a little bit too and make throws. So we got to get to him early and often. And like I said, we're going to talk about the Saints and so far as the secondary, because that's definitely a point of contention. When you're going against Puka, you're going against Kupp, guys like that, man, you're going to need to get the pressure. Carl Granderson, Chase Young, Cam, whoever you got, you're going to have to generate some pressure. We know Brian Bresee it has 5.5 sacks on a year. We're going to need Brian Bresee to get involved. We're going to need to be a collective effort by the Saints up front to get it going against Matt Stafford, ruffling his feathers, knocking him around in this type of thing. We can't allow him to stand back there and have a clean pocket like we did so many quarterbacks during the season, because this guy will tear you up. No doubt about it. He will tear you up. And once Kupp and all these guys get into a rhythm, it's going to be difficult to stop. So we got to kind of push these guys into 3 and outs, get the ball back for our offense. We can't stall out because these guys will attack you. And the defense has to play a part in slowing down what the Rams got. And I really don't want to get in the shootout with the Rams offense, to be honest with you. We're just not there yet consistently as an offense. We've been playing through 1 or 2 players. We're not there. We're not flowing like we want to right now. You see what I'm saying? We're still trying to figure it out this late in date. But anyway, let's go on to the receiver, the running threat, Kyron Williams, 11 games, 207 carries. The man averages 4 yards a carry, 822 yards on the season for him. And he's the main running back. He's a pretty decent running back and also catch the ball out the backfield. And he fits well with what they're doing. He's not a household name, but it works. But like I said, the Rams have a lot of problems offensively that they still, trying to work out and figure, similar to the Saints. Although I don't want to really get in the shootout with these guys, to be honest with you. All right, their back is Blake Corum. I scouted Blake Corum. This is another really tough runner there, but he's mostly a guy that short yardage kind of guy they use every now and again for that. Top receiver for them, 55 catches for Cooper Kupp, 5 touchdowns. Every time Cooper catches the ball, it's 10 yards. It's a first down. He averaged 10 yards per catch. So every time he gets it, it's touchdown. I mean, it's first down, and not so much touchdown, but it's first down, Mr. Kupp. Then, of course, Puka is in there. He has 37 catches on 53 targets. He averages over 13 yards per catch. He has 1 touchdown. So that's a very dangerous pairing when you talk about Kupp and Puka. Also, Tutu Atwell, the speedster, is somebody you got to watch out for because he'll tear you up. He has 30 catches for 423 yards, and he averages over 14 yards per catch. So they got you 3 different ways. They got you with Cooper Kupp, who's slick. They got Puka, who's a big physical wide receiver who does have some speed with him, and Tutu Atwell, the slot man that takes the top off your defense. we got problems. We'll be challenged here. So we got to watch out for that. And Tutu does not have a touchdown right now as of, but like I said, these are dangerous guys to watch out for. Plus, you could throw Demarcus Robinson in there. He's slick in what he does as well. So they have a very interesting range of wide receivers and people, offensively speaking. Now we talked about, we'll get to the portion of the show when we talk about the depth chart and all this kind of stuff. Then we'll go on over to their defense and see who's shaking for them. Total tackles, 91 tackles for Christian Roseboom, who's the linebacker there, 91 total tackles for this guy. He has a pick, no sacks for him. For the linebacker, Quentin Lake, the safety, 55 tackles right there. He has 2 sacks. And really, they're not really looking like that in terms of them. I think Kareem Kitchens, the safety, he has 3 picks on the season to lead this team. But like I said, when you lose a guy like Aaron Donald, somebody got to step up. And big Braden Fisk, the big defensive tackle, is there. He has 18. He has 33 total tackles. He has 6 sacks from the interior position. Brian Young, the linebacker, they use him different ways. He has 6 sacks as well. Kobe Turner, the defensive tackle, has 5, 4.5 for Jared Verse, the versatile linebacker. Mike Hoyt has 3, 2 for Quentin Lake. So you can see they have several players, and 2 of those guys, Braden Fisk is a problem too, with 6 sacks, 5 for Brian Young. So the defense not ranked as a top unit in all this. They're still trying to figure it out. And we know it'd have been a little bit of a fall off being that you lost Aaron Donald as there. But anyway, they have their other safety, Jalen McCullough. McCullough, he has 4 picks, 3 for Kitchens, and then so on and so forth. So yeah, they have a very interesting defense. Guys can move around, but like I said, it's not quite the same without Aaron Donald. But this team is 5-6, and still in all of their 5-6 team, they're still very dangerous, man, to deal with the Saints. But priority number 1, if you're talking about dealing with the black and gold defense, is definitely Matthew Stafford. It all rises and falls with Matthew freaking Stafford. He's the guy that we have to watch out for if you're the Saints. He's the guy that you got to get pressure on. He's the guy that you got to knock on his ass. You got to keep a steady flow of pressure to Matt Stafford and get him on the ground as often as you possibly can, because he's a force, man, to be quite honest with you. He's a force, and we really want to do the right thing against Matthew Stafford, because he can wing it, man. The guy can put the ball out there. He can throw that damn ball. And like I said, this is their starting lineup right here with Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp. You see Puka there, and they got Demarcus Robinson lined up there. Davis Allen is the tight end with Kobe Parkinson as a backup there. Tyler Higbee is practicing, like we showed you. The other report is showing Higbee eventually he was limited with that knee issue, but he is practicing. So I don't know what the word is on him. I'm going to have to look up and see what the case is, but he was limited in practice. And man, I don't really want to see him be activated here, because that'll be another thing that the Saints defense have to deal with. Tyler Higbee running around on. So we'll have to see what that lineup like, because this guy is even though he's on the PUP list, he is practicing right now. And here's the latest report. As of 21 hours ago, Higbee knee was listed as limited on Thursday's practice squad. Adam Kaplan of Sirius reports. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if they try that. We'll see. If it's not this week, more than likely it's going to be next week. But Tyler Higbee's close, and he's a problem. Every time we play the Rams, Tyler Higbee is a problem. But anyway, all right. So anyway, like I said, Kyron Williams, the running back. You see Cooper Kupp, Puka, Demarcus Robinson there. Tutu Atwell is also another threat to do you something. Then you look at the off of the tackle position is Alaric Jackson. KT Levinston is supposed to be. He was practicing. He's also listed on the injury report too with an ankle, but both him and Rob Havenstein have fully practiced indications. So don't be surprised if you see Alaric Jackson, KT Levinston activated for this game, because they're both fully practicing. We just keep an eye out some of this stuff. And the interior guys, Steve Avila, Bo Lemer, Kevin Dotson, and Rob Havenstein, is probably the better of all those guys. Do you look at the defense for them? Big Braden Fisk, like we showed, 6 sacks on the season. Bobby Brown III, Kobe Turner has some sacks too. Brian Young, those guys get after you. So Fisk, Turner, Byron Young, And Jared Verse, you got to watch out for those guys. And Christian Roseboom, he's the top tackler guy, got 91 tackles combined. So, they're just not one of those type of teams that has a name in terms of stopping anybody. It's they kind of trying to still figure it all out, but they do have some talent there, to be honest with you. See Omar Spates there, the former LSU Tiger there at the linebacker position, versus on the outside there. And then we go secondary wise with Williams, Witherspoon. You look at the nickelback and Quentin Lake. Safeties are Curl and Lake. Curl and Lake, Williams, Witherspoon, and another Lake, Quentin Lake. Well, actually can't be good. It's Kitchens. That's who it is. It's Kitchens. All right. So anyway, let's keep it going. And of course, there's special teams guys. It's Joshua Carty and Ethan Evans. That's the special teams guys. Kick returners are Blake Corum and Jordan Whittington. Kyron Williams also does some of that. Xavier Smith also is a return man that helps them out too. So like I said, the Rams are a team that we ultimately got to pay attention to these guys, man. And it's going to be interesting, to be honest with you, fam, on what we got going on with the Rams, man, because the Rams are always a problem. But this is a matchup ultimately the Saints should be able to win. All right, let's look at the Saints side of things. Carr, Kamara, Marquez Valdez, Scantling. They got Cedric Wilson Jr. and Kevin Austin Jr. there. Not really big on Cedric Wilson. They haven't really done too much, but the Saints are banged up from a wide receiver perspective. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed are out. Bub Means is also out. Mason Tipton is there, but they're not really using him in that. They elevated Dante Pettis because of his kick returning ability. Even seeing him in the offense running around, 6'1" guy with good speed on him. Don't understand why Kevin Austin Jr. is still here. I would have got rid of him some weeks ago and see if I could find somebody better, because he really ain't doing shit. But it is what it is, right? Taysom Hill is there. Foster Moreau is dealing with an issue. Juwan Johnson, and of course, Dalen Hawker, fullbacks, Adam Prentice. And then our line, Fuaga, Nick Seldavaris should be in there for Lucas Patrick. McCoy is questionable. Might see Shane Lemieux there starting at the center position. If McCoy can't go, Cesar Ruiz and Trevor Penning on the outside. I mean, any bright spot for the Saints is our tackles. I tell you what, man, our tackles have been getting good game reps, to be honest with you, and they look phenomenal. You go defensive for the Saints, of course, you'll see Chase Young and Carl Granderson at the end. Cam is the rotational guy. Inside, Nate Shepard and Colin Saunders are being there. Tanu Passanio is getting very close. Wouldn't be surprised if the Saints activated him this week. Would definitely need his help in getting pressure up the middle from him or on the edge. He brings that additive there. And then the linebackers are Warner, Demario Davis, and Willie Gay. The secondary, Alante Taylor, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Hugo Amadi, Harris, and Tyrann Mathieu at the safety position. We know about Blake Grupe and Matt Hayball, who's having a very good year punting the ball, and Pettis, who is doing the kick returning duties for the black and gold. So that's some of the stuff we're dealing with them, man. And then, of course, when you start talking about the matchups and what we need to do in terms of getting the win against this team, it'll hold on. Let me just get the screen shut up here. What'll be interesting about the keys to victory, right? Things we got to do. It's very simple when we talk about here. Let me get this set up here. There we go. And it's very simple. When we talk and discuss about the keys to victory for the Saints, right? The keys to victory and the things that we got to do as a team to be able to get in position to be successful and get our third straight win. A big part of the game is the Saints will have to ultimately control the clock. Let's talk offense for the Saints first. Controlling of the clock, running the ball, and having, and stipulate having a running attack, getting into the playoffs, because it's the same thing every show. We don't have an incredibly complicated offense right here. Early on, we've seen a lot of double motion, even though sometimes you've seen triple motion plays. That's now going far and few in between. We don't really do that. So a lot of what we're doing now is very simplistic, running a very simple offense. I'm not seeing any extremely new wrinkles rolling out. It's been some regurgitating of plays that we've seen early in the season, whether, when Clint runs them and he does well, all he does is flip the play, which means if he's running to the right, the play later on in the game, he flips it to the left side. So it's not really something, that we've seen new wrinkles of, but the double motion stuff to trick the defense, we haven't seen nearly enough of that, but it is what it is. But in terms of being an offense that basically operates with the mindset of running the ball to set up the play action, and that also plays into clock management, which the Saints should take a part of. Right, we have to be able to run the football, and we have to be able to get not only running the football, but get Derek Carr into the play action. We need to see if we can get that going. We need to get Carr into play action so we can get downfield to MBS, so we can start attacking downfield and making plays up the field to kind of keep our offense balanced so they don't stack up on the run, stack up to stop the Saints or slow the Saints down, Taysom Hill or Elvin Kamara, because I assure you that's what the Rams defense, which is a fast defense, they got a lot of guys that can move on that defense sideline to sideline. So it's going to be some issue there. Now, like I said, they're not a top 10 unit in any regard, but there are times when I was looking at some previous games from the Rams 2 weeks ago when they got the win, that the defense was firing off. They was making some plays. The offense was rolling. So, during some of the games, you see them, the potentiality of the team show itself. Like you'll see them play the game, but the big part of their team is they're just terribly inconsistent. That's the issue with the Rams. So they've had some guys out and they're just not consistent in what they're doing. But we can relate to that inconsistency. But in terms of the Saints offense, they have to be able to run the football, play the clock game, and ultimately see if they can get Derek Carr into the play action. And I say play the clock game because if I'm the New Orleans Saints, I don't want to get into a shootout with the Rams, because that's like Carr versus Stafford. And I'm not saying Carr can't throw the ball because he's a gunslinger, just like Matt Stafford's a gunslinger, but Stafford's a little different. Even though he's a gunslinger, there's certain attributes of Matt Stafford's game that he's accurate. He has a good degree of accuracy when throwing the football for them. He got a really good feel for McVay's offense. To a degree, he's mastered that McVay offense. So they have getting Kupp back, having Puka, who was banged up early on, he's back, and then they have these wide receivers that can get downfield. We have to watch out for that. So in terms of us with our offense, we have to play the clock game. We have to run the ball, and ultimately we need to get into the play action, kind of stretch out things. And we have to stay as consistently as we possibly can. I call for the Saints offensive line. We know two of our guys possibly could be out for the matchup. In terms of McCoy and Lucas Patrick, if those guys are out, I call upon the Saints. They're going to have to win one-on-one matchups with some of these guys. Braden Fisk is a handful, so we're going to have to win one-on-one matchups. We're going to have to make the catch when we're supposed to make the catch and take advantage of our home field advantage. Take advantage of the fact that we're in the dome. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the noise. Take advantage of everything that's there. Not having false start penalties in your own building, playing discipline and keeping, I know they're going to have some type of penalty, but keeping those pre-snap penalties down and that sort of thing. Playing a cleaner and smarter brand of football. That's what I'm calling for. Guys have to do that. So it's a winnable matchup, and it is in terms of our offense doing that. Now, we get to the defensive side of the ball. When we talk about the Saints defense against the Rams offense, Matt Stafford's a problem. Their offensive line is decent. They do have the propensity to run the ball with Williams. He averaged like 75 yards rushing the game, but he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. So he's a bit of a receiving threat there. And he's not the overall guy. He kind of benefits by way of these good wide receivers, but you really have to pay attention to the top weapon outside of Stafford is Cooper Kupp. He's very slick wide receiver that makes plays. He's not a super fast burner, but he is very slick in what he does. He runs really good routes, and he catches damn near everything you throw to him. So he has a good feel for what they're doing. Him and Stafford have a good chemistry and synergy between them. He's going to be a handful. So Alontae Taylor and the Saints secondary is really going to have to step the hell up, man. Because you're going to have Kool-Aid over here. You're going to have Alontae Taylor, and they got both of these guys going to be tasked with guarding these two really good wide receivers in Puka. And then you have Kupp on the other side, and then Ugo doing battle with Robinson, or if it's not Robinson, Tutu Atwell. If they go four, it's a problem too. So it's going to be very interesting, and I promise you, McVay is contemplating how to attack that Saints secondary, and that's the big problem. So that's a lot to ask for. That is the biggest concern that I have in the entire game in terms of the Saints getting a win against the Rams in the dome is how the Saints secondary handled with the passing attack of the Rams are going to do, because that is a tall order. So to kind of help with that, it will be called upon for the Saints up front defenders to get to Stafford, to make life for them, to keep their hands up, to bat balls down at the line of scrimmage, to get there and rough them up legally, get them on the ground legally, to make life hard for them, to constantly come at them, selective blitzing, to kind of knock them off guard, this type of thing. We got to be able to kind of play. You see what I'm saying? We're going to have to generate some extra pressure up there. And like over the last so many games, not so much, well, some of it too, the last couple of games when we had wins, it's just so much going on. We have to be able to get better pressure on these quarterbacks, especially Stafford. Can't let Stafford sit back there and gain the synergy and the chemistry with Cooper Kupp and Puka, and and just go. It's not going to be a good game for you. You got to get back there and you got to knock that guy around. You got to force him to get rid of the ball early before he really wants to. And that's how you get interceptions. When you force Stafford to throw the ball early, you help your secondary out. So we can't have them standing back there. That has to be a point of emphasis in terms of the Saints defense. These guys are dangerous wide receivers, especially with a quarterback that can throw every different type of ball. The Saints need pressure. They can't sit back there and let that goddamn guy stand back up there and get a rhythm with all his players. It's going to be a tough sell. The Saints, from a wide receiver perspective, the Saints have MVS, but who else do they have? From a wide receiver perspective, they're not really, it's one guy there that's making moves, now Kevin Austin make a few catches here or there. They got him lined up as a third guy. They got whatever the other guy out there for whatever reason, Cedric Wilson Jr. Why is he out there? But anyway, they have these guys as a collective, and the Saints are basing their game plan. And Clint Kubiak, I'm not counting on Clint Kubiak to do any other thing as far as what he's been doing. He's going to rely on Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill. And the third option for the Saints is MVS. So at some point, that's why I recommend getting the play action going early. Getting the play action going early in this game and getting it going early. The earlier you get that play action game going and involved, the likelihood of the Saints offense and that catching on and follow them throughout the game. Because I really don't want to get in the shootout with this team, and their defense secondary wise isn't all that, but these guys up front, they can move very well, and they're not a complete defensive unit. A lot of they're still young, but they got a lot of potential. They get after you. It's a lot of guys with 5+ sacks on their defense. There's a lot of guys with speed. There's guys with disruptive. They just haven't put it all together just yet. But there are guys that can move around. So those stretch plays where they throwing the stretch plays to try to stretch out the defense to the left or the right of the formation, will that work against the Rams defense? We'll see. But they have speed and they can move. So we'll see how the Saints game plan it. But ultimately, Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, is going to have to see if he can develop and get the play action going. If I had to predict, I probably would end up saying that what Clint Kubiak's basically going to do is he's going to try to play through Taysom Hill. He's going to give Elvin the ball a certain amount of time, see how that works. And then ultimately, if that fails, we can't game with Elvin. He's just going to turn the game plan off to Taysom Hill. This is what I'm saying. It's not the dude's not complicated to figure out at all, fam. The OC is not complicated to figure out at all, because it don't appear to me that he's learning how, man, we got like 6 games left in the year, fam. Now I'm thinking in my head, even though we've been, grappling with players here or there, these guys that you have, these guys been on the team for a while, unless you're MVS, they brought them in several weeks ago. But some of these guys like a Jordan Mims and all these, and Kevin Austin Jr., all these other guys, young players, but they've been on the practice squad all off season. We talking about back into the OTAs. These guys been on the practice squad while you on the practicing at the facility during, how many practices that was that they've had since that point. And then you move through OTAs into training camp. And then from training camp, you got preseason during training camp and then into these games. And then they're still practicing during the weeks. And we're well into what week is this? 13. So you go into that. That's a lot of practices. We're talking about dozens of practices. They might not be lining up as starters, but they're still practicing out there on the second teams, and they're circulating in there and third team, whatever. And they do that to keep them ready just in case that I might have to pull you off from this practice squad so you can come over here and help me because I got an injury here. Them guys have had dozens of practices, dozens. So what I'm saying is that like going into the season, we have to better utilize. If those guys are on your active roster, you have to use them. You got to use them. If you have Jordan Mims activated, right, you're going to have to use them and use them in a way which it would benefits the player, like knowing what the player can do and putting him in a situation where he can do what he does, not asking him to do something that he's not comfortable with doing. You see, because and we've heard this before, even successful coaches heard this. We know this is football 101, right? That a lot of times you would draft a guy, you would do your research on a guy, you would draft a guy or sign an undrafted player or free agent, not necessarily always built on potentiality, right? About what they can do, like we did with Zach Bowen. Like the Saints drafted him because of potentiality and what they seen him do for the University of Wisconsin, but the Saints could not collectively over a long period of time use Zach Bowen in an effective way that brings them a high level of success from week to week. They just could not do it. For whatever reason, they just couldn't do it. But the Philadelphia Eagles are doing the shit because they knew, okay, this guy is this, we can use this guy for that, and he over there tearing it up for him. So it wasn't the fact that he was garbage, because a lot of people say, hey, Q, he's just garbage. I always go back to the thing is, if you drafting or signing these players, you got to have a vision for these players and their ability to be able to be acclimated into whatever you got going on. And that's the perception is we're going to go get a guy with you might draft a guy that was in a pro style system because the learning curve to move from that system, depending on what it is, to the system that you're operating shortens the curve because of the familiarity. All they have then is a language barrier because whatever the plays that they're running in that system in college, they're running similar plays in the pros, but they're called something else. So it just becomes of switching of terminology and say, oh, I know what that is. We call it the orange green bean 2419 in college, but here it's called the super slick Mickey 451 here in St. Oh, I got it. Yeah. You see? So at the end of the day, that's all it is. And that's the mentality when you take in these players. And I say that to say this. If you got all these guys, whether it's Jordan Mims or Cedric Wilson Jr. or Mason Tipton or Dallin Hawker or any of these other guys on your active roster, and you have injuries to other players, you have to be able to some kind of way factor these players into the game plan. Because guess what? Defenses are not looking for these guys at all. They're not game planning these guys. And it'll be smart for you to be able to, at times, use AK-41 and a Taysom Hill to decoy, to be able to create opportunities for those players, is all I'm saying. That way, you sharing the wealth. Everybody is getting the ball. Everybody's contributing, and it creates a whole nother energy. It takes pressure off of our big dogs like Taysom and Elvin for them to do what they got to do, you see? And a lot of times, defensive coordinators will say, hey, man, we coming up in this game against the Saints. We know Taysom Hill had all this yardage against the Browns. We can't let him do that to us. We're gonna have to do our best to kind of follow him around, see what he got going on and do our best to slow him down. When he moves here, we got to slide resources to him. When he's out there as a wide receiver, we got to get ready to kind of get to him and gang tackle that guy. You see what I'm saying? They're going to pinpoint on him. AK-41 the same way. Alvin Kamara, they know how effective Alvin is. They're going to try to do their absolute best to neutralize. They can't stop them, but they at least attempt to slow them down where the Saints will be forced to go to the third option to win. So if I take Elvin or slow Taysom to the best of my ability down from you, then what do you do? Do you have a third guy that you're going to throw to, MBS? But if I puts, and it does MVS require a double team if I'm the Rams? Does he require a double team? And my answer would be no. No, he doesn't. Well, he taking the top off that. He would have to show them something in the game. And then if he does, then they say this, that, and the third. But the Saints are not targeting MVS like that, where he's becoming a consistent threat game after the game. Now, he did have a couple of big catches, but they'll go to him and then they don't go to him. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like he's a side effect of the game as opposed to an actual complement in the game, which he's included into the offense as a playmaker for the team. They don't consistently go to MBS like that. Like he'll have 3 or 4, 3 catches, 2 catches, something like that. But we're not fully, having him in the game like that, where the guy's getting 5 or 6 catches or even 5 or 6 attempts thrown at him per game. And then who you got on the other side? They don't even care about who you got on the other side. But if we got guys there that can make plays, then we can be able to utilize these guys to move the ball. Because if we beat the Rams with those guys, they'll live with that shit. They just don't want you, and we'll try everything that they have to stop Taysom and Elvin from beating them, even slowing MBS down. But if you beat them with Tipton or Cedric Wilson Jr. or Kevin Austin Jr., them dudes will live with that. They'll live with that all the way. They're not game planning for those guys. That's why I was saying adding them into the offensive playbook at times by decoying using Elvin and Taysom helps the overall offense. So we play collectively. It takes the burden off of just our star guys and it spreads it evenly throughout the team. And that helps as we move forward, because you're going to need those guys until other guys get back, and giving them that time helps them. Look what they've done for Kevin Austin Jr. Kevin Austin Jr. made some catches in there. His confidence is building. He's a good blocker and he's figuring it out. So those reps really count. So anyway, that's some of the stuff that I got right there. That's the breakdown I got right there. And that's the call on it. Now, my call on the game, who wins the game? I'm gonna have to, I'll go with the Saints, and I'm gonna go with the Saints by 4. I think the Saints win the game 24-21 against the Rams in the Dome. I don't think it'll be a blowout affair. I think the black and gold, like I said, we still offensively are not there. We're running the ball, this, that, and the third. We're not there yet. Like we had the Falcons game, which could have been a blowout when Elvin drops a wide open catch that would have went for a touchdown, and then we struggle to a struggle win to the Falcons. But that catch is made. We blow the doors off of them. The energy, they collapse into an even larger footprint, and we ultimately go on into the Browns game with that higher energy. But we kind of struggled on that one. This game right here, we'll see, because the Rams are, even though they're a 5-6 team, they have some players there, man, that can be a surprise. And despite the record, you got to bring it against some of these teams, man, because right now they're getting to a point where they got to kind of sink in, because it's getting close to, jostling yourself for a playoff performance, or getting close to where you can set yourself up to have a postseason run. So every bit of these games, these last 6 games, is going to count. All right. Big ups to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in the stream, man. That's right. Yeah, brother Gundam knows play action card. That's what I call them. Play action card. That is who you're going to need. You're going to need cards, so we don't have to focalize on Taysom and Elvin Kamara. Please don't. Please not do that. We got players. We got young players. They're not big name players. But that's the job of the OC, to get these players involved in the game. If you do that, man, then that flows the game. And that's why I'm gonna be watching what Clint Kubiak does. Does he do that, or does he just force it through AK-41 and Taysom Hill? Does he just force it through him? He already said in the broadcast, the Wednesday interview, that he didn't have any concerns about overusage of Taysom Hill. The reporter asked him twice in a row about Taysom Hill's usage, because the reporters know that Taysom Hill usage rate is high right now. It's a high usage rate on a 34-year-old player. I don't care what he looks like, but he's 34 years of age. He's still got 6 games remaining in the season. You got to be able to delegate and spread out reps to the best of your ability and not over rely and get lazy on your damn play calling. It's your job to get these other guys involved. And that's what we need to do. So will he do that in this game? I don't know. The problem is that he knows that this is a talking point because the media is bringing it to him because the family members are talking about it. You're like, God damn, we got the win against the Browns, but damn, we still got 6 tough games remaining. So we can't afford to kind of do this thing where you see guys come in and out the line because Taysom Hill was banged up. He got hurt early in the year and we had to wait for him to come back. The reports were saying that the man had broken ribs. You think his ribs done healed since then? The reports happened. Then he playing physical football, getting punched on and hit on and knocked around and thrown on the ground. You think them ribs is healed up? You think he Wolverine? You think he got instant mutant healing factor? It don't work like that. The guys still, even though they're not showing it on the report, both him and Tate and Elvin still got issues with their ribs. They ain't telling you that on the report, but they still do. So you got to use everybody else too that's on the active roster that got us collecting a goddamn paycheck. If you can't use them, then why are they there? That's my point, man. And that guy, I don't know what's wrong with that dude. Oh, I don't have no concerns about his usage rate. You know, it was just his time. Man, get out of here, man. The dude's 34 years old, man. In his middle 30s. You can't do that. Run him like that. And use other damn people. And if you can't use the people you got, then get them the hell off the team and find people that's supposed to. That pisses me off, man. People telling you that and you sitting up there, well, I don't have no concern. How the fuck you don't have no concern? And the guy got broken ribs. Oh, I ain't worried about that. It made my ribs. That just pisses me off, man. All right, big ups to the fam. What's up, JT? Shout out to you, fam. Shout out. I just hate ignorant shit, man. I hate ignorant shit. I really do, man. I can't stand it. Arvin says that 9-8 hasn't gotten us in the playoffs in previous seasons, so we got to win out. If we want to get in, if we beat the Rams, then we have a shot at beating Green Bay. Thank you, Arvin. I'm not talking about the playoffs, fam. I'm not mentioning the playoffs until the Saints get back to 500. That's the first thing. Now, y'all guys can, y'all do, y'all will. But as far as I'm concerned, I can't even talk about the playoffs yet until the Saints they're a 4-7 team. They still got to win 3 more games to be able to get to 7-7. And then after they get there, they still have to be able to win more games to compete with the other teams that's there and see where they fall, because we done played everybody in the NFC South. The only guy we got left is Tampa Bay when the year turned over. So that's a tough thing within itself. They're on a 2-game winning streak. It's 1 win at a time. They got to get back to 500. And from 500, they got to keep compounding until they see what they can do. So that's what it comes down to. Family members ask me, say, Q, you think Rizzy should be, if Rizzy wants to be the next, if he wants the interim tag dropped off of his coaching title, he needs to do what Peyton couldn't do in his last year and what Dennis Allen couldn't do in the time that he was here. Take this Saint team and get them to the playoffs. If he does that as an interim coach that came from the special teams ranks, then he deserves an opportunity as a coach of the team, because he did something that Dennis Allen and Sean Payton can do in his final year. Get the team to the playoffs. So you got to respect his mind on that. So that's a tall order nonetheless, because he's working with a lot. He's still 3 games under 500. So, if not, then he could be a candidate that you talk to, but you better go and look at and talk to everybody though, because this is what it is. Quavadia says, tight end's going to have to come up big in the game for the Saints. Indeed, bro, because our wide receiver situation is very problematic, isn't it? It's very problematic. All right. Anyway, Desi says, what's Desi talking about? She says, hoping you're right. All right. Arvin says, I know that those Super Bowl winners, what I'm saying is if we beat a Super Bowl winning coach and QB, especially in December, then we have a lot of shots beating them almost anybody besides KC. All right. Quavadia says, once teams take Taysom away, you got to rely on others. We have to make adjustments to play calling, right? Des says Kubiak's not going to do it, and I don't see him being an OC for very long. The problem is, like I said, man, when I watch Clint Kubiak, I like Clint Kubiak, But when you see him on your team dealing with the people you have, you want to see not only just intelligence and what they say, but you want to see what happens in the game. Do they have a good adjustment ability? Do they adjust well to what's going on? Do they heed the warnings of what's going on and make adjustments? Or do they simply pretend that they don't exist? From what I've been seeing from him running the game, he over relies on Taysom Hill too much. That's a terrible flaw. That means you're a lazy play caller. You're lazy. You can't over rely on Taysom because you give him too much usage. What's going to end up happening is you setting them up to get hurt. So you have to do other things with other players who are getting a check. They're getting paid. So you got to use them other guys. And that's the thing. That's the problem I have with him. He has not done that. That's why I'm frustrated with him. I see him. I'm like, this dude what's wrong with this guy? What's going on here? I thought, and then the thing is, what's the identity of the offense? What are the Saints? Can anybody tell me what the Saints' offensive identity is? Are they a passing team or a running team? What are they? The reality under Clint Kubiak is they go as far as Taysom Hill to take them. Whether he's playing quarterback or whether he's playing wide receiver, blah, 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 they're putting them on special teams. I'm like, God damn, they got anybody else that wants some rep out there? You know what I'm saying? Anybody else want to do something? You know, I mean, I'm not every now and again a matchup like that, but listen, you have to play through everybody. I know you got options 1, options 2, but you have to use decoy measurements. You got to be able to throw that decoy principle out there. You got to decoy those guys at times. Guy not doing that, man. Reporters asked him 2 straight questions yesterday, a day before yesterday, about overusage of Taysom Hill. He said he had no concerns about it. No concerns about it. And the guy sitting up there broke up. I mean, that's a fool letter to me, bro. Yeah, that's why I'm like, this dude ain't ready, man. You ain't ready, man. You ain't ready. You got it. You living off your pop's name. Is that what's going on here? Well, you taught me to QB. I know he ain't teach you to be a lazy play caller. He ain't teach you to focalize your offense through 1 or 2 people. I'm pretty sure he taught you how to use as many skilled players as you possibly can. And if you don't have some to use, go tell your goddamn coach so we can get some. Don't sit up there pretending like you got them when you don't. Because I'm like, where are these other guys involved? They're getting checks. Why aren't we using these other guys? Well, they ain't good enough. Well, why are they on the team? Why is Cedric Wilson still on this team? I keep asking the same question. We had a bye week. We could have got this guy out of here and found somebody else. Or did something else. Find somebody to help us move forward, because it's not a given that Chris Olave is coming back for the Commanders game or after that. It's not a given. And that's what I was saying. I said this before McCoy came back, fam. I said, fam, listen, we cannot sit up here and listen to these people tell us the reason why the Saints are failing is because of injury, and we just need to get players back. And I said the reason why is because if you get the players you waiting for back and they get hurt again, then what the hell does that mean? You cannot rely on that. And this is what happened to McCoy. And I said that before this even happened, because I said, listen, that guy been gone since Green Bay, since the Philly game, the start of the Philly game. He been gone all that time. And they anticipate we about to get him. I'm like, bro, listen, sometimes this happen. Guys are out for a long time. They come back and they get hurt again. They miss games again. Lucas Patrick is the literal definition of what I said. He been in and out of the lineup all year long. You cannot rely on waiting for injured players to come back, because it is not a sure 100% thing. But what is sure is that you, as a team, as a general manager, as a VP, Mickey Loomis, get up off your ass and go and find talent in the free agent ranks, on special teams, and do what you got to do to keep the team infused with talent in guys that can help move the ball offensively, or make tackles defensively, or cover punts, or whatever you got them to do. So that's all I'm saying is that that's a problem. That's a problem. It's not just indicative to injuries. Oh, well, that's just an injury. We're going to get on McCoy back. We're going to get him. You going to see. You going to see when we get McCoy back. He going to be. And I'm sitting up here like, how is McCoy the only one that knows that stuff? That they were saying, oh, he calls this, he calls that. You mean a backup center? Didn't know that? Oh, my bad. They didn't have a backup center. Then they take McGovern, Wave McGovern, who was doing a pretty decent job as a backup center, and settles for Shane Lemieux, who can't stay healthy. And he more than likely, if McCoy can't go, then LePew will be your guy you got at the center position. So I don't know what's going on. All I can say is that at the end of the day, this is stuff that I see successful teams doing. They're just going to keep trying to find talent to keep the team afloat. They're not sitting there exclusively waiting for starters to come back. They're going to try to improve the backups because those guys can get hurt again. Then where will you be again? We're going to be waiting again? Well, listen here, Q. I know he came back, but I tell you what, he's going to be back in 3 more games. You're going to see. You're going to see. You're going to see. He might have missed since week number 3, but I promise you one thing. He came back, helped that, and I'll tell you in 3 more games, he's going to be back to help us again. Man, shut your stupid ass. It don't, man, I'm just saying, man, none of this shit makes sense to me. It don't make sense. But we'll see, won't we? We shall see. I'm going to sit here and watch it just like you watching it. We're going to sit here and watch it. All right. Anyway, big ups to y'all, man. Arvin says Kubiak only finds his identity when Taysom is here. Kubiak has no identity when Taysom is not here, and he doesn't make second half adjustments. What's my old nursery rhyme I've been saying? And I've been saying that shit since early in the year because I've been saying it. When Taysom's away, Clint Kubiak can't call a play because he over relies on the man. When Taysom's away, Clint Kubiak can't call a play. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. I want the team to win. We're 4-7. We're on a 2-game winning streak. We can't rest on our laurels and sit back and say, yeah, we got it figured out. No, we have to keep improving our team week to week. They got guys on this team that's not doing their jobs. It wasn't all on Coach Possum. They got guys that he brung here that's not doing their jobs. Those guys need to get off of this team. I'm just keeping it real. All right, Jerry. What's up, Jerry? Shout out to you. What's up, Tasha, baby? Shout out to Tasha. Good to see you. And Tasha's really smiling ear to ear because her Cowboys done won 2 straight real fast. Go ahead, Tasha. I see him. All right, Rising 2012 says Kubiak seems to lack ingenuity. Bro, I'm not being hard on. This is my literal estimation based on what I've seen watching these games, doing all the stuff. This is my literal breakdown on our offensive coordinator. Like the stuff like establishing a run, we seen Elvin doing it. The offensive line struggled. We didn't even have to struggle like that during those 7-game losses. We really didn't. They wasn't getting the guys out. Why is Ali Udo still on the team? You see what I'm saying? There's like guys that just didn't work. They made it, but like through them, like, why is Cedric Wilson still on this team? Why is Ali Udo still on this team? Why are these guys still here? Why? What is Ali Udo doing? Why is he still here? Why is Landon Young still on this team? These guys don't do it. You see what I'm saying? So when Coach Possum left, take some of these goddamn guys with you. Because their guys on here, I'm like, why is this guy still on the team? What is he doing to be like on the team? What is he doing? Why is he, like I asked you, why is Cedric Wilson still on this team? Why is Ali Udo still on the team? I just don't understand, man. We got to keep improving from a personnel standpoint. We just can't sit back and say, yeah, this, that, and the third. We got to keep it moving. GM Kev says, Q, the circumstance created the record. Quote, Mickey Lomas, end quote. Yeah, Mickey Lomas is a moron, man. I've been exposed Mickey Loomis, what, 2 years ago, when I said he's not really a general manager, because general managers actually watch their goddamn team. They actually do daily, if not weekly, evaluations on their team. If I'm the general manager of the Saints, right, and I'm doing my job, there is no way the Saints go through a 7-game losing streak if general manager Mickey Loomis is watching over the team and doing evaluations like he's supposed to. The reports indicated that Loomis don't even talk to the players. How are you the general manager of any football team when you do not engage with the players? How are you able to figure out the temperature of what's going on with the players if you don't even engage with them? You don't even talk to them. How's that a general manager who himself said he doesn't do in-season evaluations because when they win, he's emotional, and when they lose, he's emotional? Then why are you the general manager when you're not doing? Because evaluations is a big part of the team when you're the GM. That's the point. And that's also Lauscher. Lauscher is Loomis's boss. Where was he at when the Saints was falling through the floor? These are two negligent bums that don't know what they're doing. Especially that Lauscher dude. That Lauscher dude needs to be pulled away from both those president positions. He doesn't need to be the president of the Pelicans. He doesn't need to be the president of the Saints. Create a treasury term for him because he's an accountant. Call him the chief accountant or something, but pull his ass away, please, from the president's job for the Saints organization, because he don't know nothing about none of those sports that he's supposed to be the president of. I mean, this is crazy. That's why these teams are fumbling, bumbling, stumbling teams at times. You know, Mickey Loomis is a moron. I've been saying that. He's a masquerader. He can't even stand up to tough questions. That's why he been interviewed by Bobby Hebert since that time when Hebert was asking him them questions. And he been going to softball Mike Hoss ever since. I pinpointed that shit out when it happened. I said, you see that, huh? He can't even withstand questions, man. And you are the reason why the team is failing, and you can't stand questions. He can't stand up to questions, but for the F stuff that he did, but you mad at the family members for calling you out for losing? You tell me if that ain't mental. That guy's a buffoon, man. He don't know what he doing. Both of them don't. Gail had to go over them guys and do both their jobs. Go ahead to do Loomis's job by talking to the players and hearing from the supporters. Loomis, it tries to ignore the family base. He tried to ignore you. And it was Gail that heard you and said, fire that possum, get him on up out of here. Hold on now, Gail. Hold on. We gotta hold on, man. We got our injuries going on, and hold on now. You know, no, shut up. Get that guy out of here. He's terrible. The players don't like him. The supporters saying, get his ass out of here. Oh, all right. Hold on. I'll follow. Okay, let me finish my oyster smoothie. After that, I'll go and fire him. Dude, crazy. He didn't like that either. He didn't like the fact that we flexed our power on this goof ass. He didn't like that. But I've been telling y'all about that guy. The Saints got major problems at the top. You can't have Gail as an ambassador. You can't have Gail that don't know exclusively about either one of these pro sports, and then have the president of the Saints and Pelicans, the same dude, Dennis Lauscher, who doesn't know about the sports in which he's the president of. That is total lunacy. He's totally not qualified for that position, but he's sitting his ass up there with it. He's not checking Loomis, and he's not checking David Griffin. None of these guys, he's checking them. There is no accountability from these people. Only from you. That's why we flex our collective muscle on the ass. Because you're supposed to. You're not supposed to take anything everybody give you. I thought we was hitting on something over here. But anyway, man, listen, I'm getting cooked up and baked up on this thing, man. Kevin says Kubiak don't like nobody questioning his play call. Well, too goddamn bad. He shouldn't have came his ass down if he don't like that. All right, Arvin says Rizzy in his first 2 games, coaches already won 2 games. The players want to play for him. This is true. He also says, I got to go, hopefully. Yeah, shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you. Brother Tragic in the building. Big ups to you. Yeah, happy holidays to you, bro. You know I'm cooking right now. All right, King Chosen One says, that work, but talk that talk, big bro. Shout out to you, King Chosen One. Yeah, man, I'm just, listen, it's going to take that. It wasn't just all Coach Possum. I said that. They still got some residue left. It still got some goddamn residue left that the possum left on this team, baby. You know, He should have took Ali Udo with him and Cedric Wilson Jr. with him. We don't, man, come on. But anyway, man, we got the press conference about to be fired up momentarily, man. You see that's going. We'll hear from Coach Rizzi there. But the reality is this is a winnable game for the Saints. They're going to have to kind of win out to the best of their ability, to be honest with you. The Rams matchup, this is going to be a difficult matchup, but it's a winnable game. But the Saints defense, boy, they got the secondary in particular has a big test against the wide receivers and the quarterback for the Rams. So the defense has to get after that, man. They got to get after Stafford, get him on the ground. We need our offense to come, and they have to be consistent. We can't have one quarter where we do something and then 3 quarters we don't do anything but punt the ball back off to them. We can't be giving Stafford and that offense multiple attempts to score against the Saints defense. Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? Can we agree on that? At least that much of it is that we can't have the Saints offense going 3 and out and giving Stafford and the Rams, we giving them even more opportunities to score on our secondary. We gotta step up on that. All right. Also, big ups to OG Jerry, man, for his for being a member for 5 months. Thank you, OG.
Thank you. You're fuck too kind.
All right, OG. Yeah, Tasha says, Q, I'm happy they won, but I don't even watch the game. Yeah, they got the win. I know Law was happy. I know he was happy about it. All right, but yeah, they're 5-7 now. They're 5-7. They won the week before that, then they won the yesterday. So 2 quick wins. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. They beat the Giants. Giants struggling right now. We got the Rams, then the Giants. So we have an opportunity. We got some teams that's not totally all there, but you still have to watch out for those guys because it's still the NFL, right? Shout out to Antoinette. Shout out to you, Queen. Appreciate you for being in the building. Much love. Yeah, and as we see the Saints press conference with Rizzi is about to pop in there, so we'll see what's going on with that as well. But yeah, this is a part of the game, fam, we have to pay attention to, man, and watch and see how it all goes, man, because in the end, we got 6 games remaining, baby. Gonna be interesting. But anyway, let's go to the right now, who wins the week matchup right here. We got people voted. 64% says the Saints beat the Rams. 19% says the Rams win, and 17% says I don't know, Q. So that's good. That's a good long amount. That's a good disparity. 64% versus 19%. That's actually pretty good, man, to be honest with you. I think we're doing all right. So if y'all got any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat, man, on this thing, man. Like I said, it's going to be a fun, interesting game. Remember, it's an afternoon game, fam. We're so accustomed to the noon games. This is an afternoon game for the Saints. We don't often see a lot of afternoon games. I think this is probably, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is one of 2 afternoon games that we're going to have for the rest of the year. Well, yeah, it's the only afternoon game. We don't know what's going on with the Tampa Bay game, when that's going to be at the end of the year in week 18. But this is, it's kind of weird that it's like that, though, because I'm thinking like, man, why isn't it a 12 o'clock game? But in the Dome, but it's an afternoon game in the Dome on Fox. And then we go back to our 12 game schedule for the Giants in Washington in weeks 14 and 15. Then it's a Monday night matchup against Green Bay 2 days before Christmas. At 7:50, it's going to be a Monday night matchup. Boy, it's going to be cold up there. It's going to be cold up there. And that right there is going to show you what time it is with the black and gold, man. That's really because they got a Washington game in the Dome against Jaden Daniels. He coming here and he, that's going to be a handful. That's going to be a really interesting game, the Jaden Daniels games. And then that Monday night matchup against Jordan Love, they playing really well. Green Bay won yesterday. And, that's going to be an interesting matchup. So, yeah, it's that weeks 15 and 16 game going to tell you a lot about the Saints, man. It really will. It's going to be interesting. All right. Like I said, the Saints will be popping up. Okay, what's up, Larry? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you for being in the stream as well, man. Much love to Larry. Yeah, who that? Happy Thanksgiving to you too, brother. Yeah, we had a good time yesterday, man, with the Saints, man. I sat down and talked life with the family.
We really changed it up, huh? We changed it up for you guys too. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving, I hope. Awesome. Perfect. I ate too much. I don't need any more sides. All right. Go ahead, guys. Fire away.
Does Eric McCoy still have a chance to play?
Yeah, he does. We're going to put him through a workout tomorrow and then probably pregame as well. So when I say that he's day-to-day, he's the epitome of day-to-day. We're going to take him right to the game and see if we can get him ready. If not, we'll have a plan obviously in place and we'll go from there.
But he didn't practice today, right?
No, he did some stuff. He didn't practice with us. He did some movement stuff and some rehab and some strengthening and some just some workout stuff. The silence as you guys finishing your quick post. We got to get it out. Who can beat who with the fast fingers? Come on, let's go.
Able to unlock the running game against Cleveland, and how do you continue it?
How have we been able to unlock? Why? Yeah. Well, listen, I think that was an emphasis for us going into the last two games, especially the Cleveland game was winning the line of scrimmage. We felt like it was a huge part of us having a chance in that game, and we put the emphasis on it. I mentioned the other day, I feel like our running game throughout the whole entire season, regardless of the mix and match at O-line and the different injuries and whatnot, I feel like that's been one of the things we've done most consistently. I think the other day, like I said, I think we're in the top, whatever it is, 8 or 9 in the league in rushing. So we want to be a little bit better naturally, but that's been pretty good. It's got to stay consistent. Listen, it's no secret. If we can run the football, it opens up everything else. It opens up everything we do, opens up our play action, opens up our drop back, opens up everything. And so anybody that can, run the football, gives you a chance to be multidimensional. And so it's important for us to continue to do that. I give credit to the guys in the run game and John Benton and Clint and Clancy and Derek and all the coaches and the players. Both the plan and the execution has been really good the last 2 weeks. So it's got to continue.
Is there something to pinpoint with the Rams' struggles in that area defensively?
No, I think listen, they've just been a little bit inconsistent there. I think focus is really more on us than them. Listen, they got a really athletic front. And so getting on blocks and staying on blocks is going to be critical for us. And then obviously blocking on the second level. And that's one of the things I got to give the receivers a little bit of credit too. They've really done a good job of blocking on the second level. And so some of those 4 or 5 yard runs have turned into 7, 8, 12-yard runs. And that's big yardage because we've done a really good job on the second level. Some of those newer receivers that we've had in there the last few weeks, credit to them.
Are you guys doing that receiver group? Just considering you've had a number of guys who are currently on the practice squad playing big roles in games, is that still kind of up in flux?
Yeah, we try to make it a competition every week, to be honest with you. Obviously the 4 guys that were up the last game, but the guys that weren't up, Mason Tipton wasn't up, and EQ and Jermaine, and those guys weren't, there the last active the last game. But at some point, all of them have been, and so we've tried to make that a competition. Anytime you have injuries at a position, it's obviously you guys have heard the old next man up mentality, but we've tried to create some competition within practice. And to those guys' credit, those guys have really done a good job. This week was important for our tempo of practice. The Rams do such a good job of getting to the line, getting shifts, getting motions, having to adjust. And our replication of that through our look squads and our scout teams, the receivers were a big part of that. And I think they've done a great job. So not only when we're practicing our stuff, but when we're practicing our opponent's stuff too. So those guys got a lot of work.
Every game is the next game is the most important one, but if you guys win this one, do you see it as something that could, rally around? I guess just how important is this game to you guys besides the? But
I think your first point. I think your first point's the most important. If you look back, I'm only going to use the 3 weeks that I've been in charge here. Well, if we didn't win the Atlanta game, then the next game wouldn't have been as important. If we didn't win the Cleveland game, the next game wouldn't have been important. So it's really like that every week. Trying to keep this. We have a lot of distractions going on this week in terms of listen, we're coming off a bye week. It's a holiday week. All those things. And I think I mentioned the other day, we didn't handle winning 2 games in a row in the beginning of the season very well. We didn't respond very well. We didn't finish those next couple of games. And so really just trying to not duplicate, the past and what can we do to get better. So again, I'm not trying to ignore the question. But when I tell you we're really trying to keep the focus on the Rams and the 1-0, and I really believe in my heart that other stuff kind of takes care of itself. And truly it does, because think about it. If we haven't won these last 2 games, and this game wouldn't be nearly as important. So that's kind of been the message. Really just stay locked into this one.
Eric kind of, you talked about him being day-to-day and all the stuff that he's been going through and the emotion today. But, how has he kind of been, mentally throughout this process through talks with you? Because it's got to be frustrating, right, when he comes back, he gets hurt again, now just trying to fight hard, the same uphill battle. How has he been mentally through this, through your perspective?
Yeah, listen, I think anytime anybody's injured, it's a frustrating process, no matter how long or short the rehab process is. I think when you aggravate something, that's always frustrating too, because you kind of feel like you're over the hump. And then, listen, Eric's a very, very mature person. He's a very intelligent person, but he's working hard at it. We're just trying to be really smart with him, and he's so valuable to us. The last thing we want to do is throw him out there and practice and getting hurt on a Wednesday or Thursday practice. And we're just trying to be smart with that, him coming off that long layoff. So I think he's handled very, very well. I think he's a very mature guy. He understands how we're doing it. Listen, there's not a lot of guys in this building that I could say, hey, this guy can't really afford to practice X amount of days and still go play. He's one of the exceptions, in my opinion. We had a handful of those guys. He's a difference maker. And so we're trying to make sure we're doing the right thing by him.
Just to clarify, it's an aggravation of the kind of the first groin injury rather than like a.
He's banged up right now. He's not 100%.
Your guys' yards per reception when going to tight ends is like among the best in the league. Is that something that can be leaned into more? Or is that more like a number that's due to circumstance and opportunity?
Well, I guess the first part of that is what do you count Taysom as, right? Do you count him as he counts a tight end, I guess?
And I think Juwan's 14th.
Yeah. Listen, I think that goes back to the running game part of it. Heck, I played tight end in college, and even though I don't look like it anymore, but, part of the tight end passing game, a big, huge part of that is the success in the run game. And then when those guys get receptions, a lot of times they're chunk plays, right? So you look at some of those receptions those guys have had, and they're big plays. And they're very timely plays. I think, we don't have a lot of short passing game maybe to those guys. So when they do catch balls, it's more down the field type plays. But Foster and Juwan and Taysom, all those guys have really been exceptional. I think, if you look at them, especially the last few games, those guys as a committee have been really, really strong for us. So we're going to continue to lean on that because, again, for us not to be one-dimensional, spread the ball out, we're going to need all those guys, to be a part of it. So, yeah, it's a big deal.
I guess I count Taysom as Taysom. It's kind of hard.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always laugh when they try to put his position. When we put it, we congratulated him in our team meeting coming back. And we put him up when he won the Player of the Week, and we listed like tight end, running back, quarterback, kick returner. We put him all across the board. So it was pretty good.
Cano, how's he progressed?
Yeah, listen, he's had a really good week. We'll make a decision on him tomorrow whether or not we're going to elevate him now or maybe just wait for the whole process. He's allowed 21 days, the window. But he felt great that Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to talk to him today at post practice yet, but he felt really good after the Wednesday practice. After a couple of days, he felt like he was really ahead of where he thought he'd be. Got to shake the rust off a little bit. He's been out for a while, but no, I'm really pleased with having him back and where he's at.
He said the other day that he felt like he was ready a couple of weeks ago. I did get the sense he's kind of like chopping at the bit here.
Yeah, if we had started the clock before the bye week, the bye week would have counted. So you don't get to press pause there, unfortunately. So that would have counted the 21 days. So it was a little bit of a disadvantage. I agree. He was chomping at the bit, but we would, again, no different than anybody else. Just want to be smart with it.
It's kind of out there, but looking back to 2015 with Dan, that team also kind of started 2-0 after the interim switch. Is that experience that you look back to and kind of say, okay, what went wrong? Because I think they went like 4 losses in 5 games. Is that a challenge, like a unique challenge as an interim to avoid, that kind of energy boost fading and then turning into just kind of.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. I think the most important part of this whole process that we're in is to keep your mind off of the big picture, right? We got to keep our mind off of, prior. We got to learn from what has happened in the past. We're going to keep our not look past this week, and realize why we've had success the last couple of weeks and what can prevent us from having that. Now, I mentioned on Monday when the guys came in, we did a little bit of a State of the Union where we're at in all three phases. I think Nick asked me that the other day about did we do a self-scout, and that was really the message on Monday. The message on Monday was, this is why we've done well the last couple of weeks. This is what can get us beat. And so that's really been more of the focus on us. And again, I know I understand your question, but the relevance from 2015 to now, although shout out to Dan, but and congratulations to him for winning another one yesterday. But no, I just really trying to keep the focus on the here and now. We're good, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, there go Coach Rizzi, man, breaking it down. And of course, what we heard from him is that Eric McCoy is considered a game time decision, man. So we'll see what's going on with that as well. So a game time decision for McCoy, man. That's tough, man. That's tough, man. But it does happen, like I said, man. So we'll see who comes up next to the podium. More than likely, might be Carr, might be Taysom. Might be one of the big wigs step up to the podium to discuss it. But yeah, that's the question mark moving forward in terms of will McCoy be available and game time decision. Also today, fam, the Chicago Bears fired their coach today, man. For some of the family members who probably didn't hear about that, Matt Eberflus was put in the street by the Bears after they lost the other day. He is in the street. So we'll see how that all ends up, as well as the Bears say it's time for a change. So they followed the Saints' lead in many cases. They put their guy in the street. The Jets also fired their coach, and they're anticipating at the end of the season that they might be up to close to 10 firings. And that pretty much the end of that, one hit a quitter. Press conference over with. Press conference over with. And he is Eberflus, man. So he gone. Matt Eberflus fired. So yeah, the crazy part is I actually thought the Bears was headed in the right direction. I actually thought that they were headed in the right direction. They started off pretty good. But boy, that just goes to show you can't rest on them laurels, man. You got to keep it moving. You got to keep it improving. You got to keep it grooving, baby. That's how that go. But anyway, yeah, OG say he's seen it. But yeah, this will be interesting, man. Quaveda said he deserved to be fired, especially after yesterday. Yeah, well, he gone. So we'll see, what the Bears got going on later on, who they'll hire. But they got a lot of positions that'll be opening up, especially with the Saints dealing with their interim coach labor. We know ultimately, depending on how Dallas finished, McCarthy could be in trouble there. We've seen what happened with the Giants. The Giants clearing out. So they got a lot of guys, head coach wise, in the NFL that's getting that issue, man. Because if you don't win, man, you don't win, you gone. And hey, listen, I don't have a problem with it, because if you make a lot of money, it's a competitive business. You have to win, and not everybody is going to win. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like if you do what you're supposed to do consistently, you'll be among the winners. And then it breaks down to, going through the adjustments of having to deal with whatever scandals your team might happen, players, injuries, stuff like that, just navigating the gauntlet. And then the best people move on and push to the next level, man. And that's a very difficult thing to do. And it does require a special coach to be able to navigate the gauntlet. Takes a special hierarchy of executives in your organization to understand that, to be able to work together and not be tunnel visioned into how great your team is and all this rhetoric. You have to be able to step up. You have to do what you're supposed to do. You got to stay on top of it. You can't close your door, go in your office and close your door, not talk to no players. You can't do that stupidness. You got to be on top of checking the coach, making sure he's doing what he's supposed to do, that he's not over his head. You got to be able to make sure you handle the business. We have not seen that happen down here, but a lot of these guys, they get put in the street. Chicago and all these other teams are tired of losing. The Jets, Chicago, you see the Giants jumping in there, and they're supposed to have at least, they say up to 10 firings. I'm like, God damn. Who else is it left? Hold on, let me see. Let me pull up an article. Maybe I could be able to pull up an article on some of this stuff. The coaching carousel, to see what's going on there, man. But I'm happy we on the coaching carousel, to be honest with you, getting rid of that possum, getting him the hell out of here. Let me see if I can find what's going on with the coaching carousel. Yeah, because they thinking like yeah, yeah, it depends, man. Eberfluss is already, he's out of here. So yeah, so let me see. I'm trying to find a more up-to-date one, to see the coaching carousel. All right. And they did, of course, they're gonna be throwing the college coaches in there about who gonna get an opportunity to step into college ranks and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna get one coach and college coach that might want to step up to the pros. All right, but yeah, I don't see a good one, man. I don't see a good up-to-date one. Hold on here. They got one right here. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski, he's on the hot seat. Is coach for the Steichen? Is he on the hot seat in Indianapolis? The Indianapolis coach, is he on the hot seat? I don't think Antonio Pierce is. I think Pierce will be all right. Brian Callahan, I think he's safe. Coach Todd for Tampa Bay is safe. Mike McDonald with Seattle, I think he's all right. Sirianni, I think is all right, but yeah, they already fired the Jets coach, the Giants coach, Saints, they gone. Yeah, I think Antonio Pierce is safe. Doug Peterson is in trouble. Shane Steichen, he could be in trouble. Mike McCarthy's in trouble, depending on how he finishes. Matt Eberfluss is already fired. Kevin Stefanski is also on the hot seat. So, yeah, they got a couple of these guys is on the hot seat right now, and they say up to 10 guys could possibly be fired. So we'll have to pay attention to it. All right. Anyway, Wyo says Saints win out, Bucks 1 loss, Falcons 2 losses, win the division. Tough schedule ahead, fam. Tough schedule ahead. That's why I'm kind of hesitant about talking about the playoffs, because you don't know, it depends. It's a test. This is a gauntlet. And you take a look at some of these games that's remaining. Of course, you see the Rams game on Sunday afternoon, then the Week 14 matchup in New York in the cold against the Giants team. Giants are falling apart. They already cut their starting quarterback. They're going with backups, so they're tanking out of this thing. So they lost recently. I think they've lost a handful of games. So that could be something for the Saints to go up there and win. So if they can get the win against the Rams, the Giants could be something. And then they'll have a really tough 2-game test in weeks 15 and 16 at home against Jaden Daniels and then tough Commander Club. And then they have to travel 2 days before Christmas to Green Bay to take the Packers on. Going to be tough, man, to get those 2 wins, Washington and Green Bay. Then they come home for a Las Vegas team that is not doing too good. And then they have it's going to be a very important game, week 18 against the Buccaneers at Tampa to close out the season. So they have some tough games that they have. And even the Giants game, even though I expect them to win, that's why they play the game. So we'll see how it all ends, man. We'll see how it all ends. Hopefully in our favor. But anyway, with that being said, fam, let me get ready to cut out on this. I appreciate you guys for chiming in on this episode. Please feel free, if you hadn't done so, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, throw in the chat, because I see the poll. A lot of the family members are saying 66% of the family members believe, 67 now that I said it now, that the Saints will win the matchup over the Rams. 17% both saying the Saints will lose, the Rams win, and I don't know is the same. But 67% says, oh, we know the black and gold is winning this thing. So it's good to see them doing that. All right. Tosh says, Q, did you eat good yesterday? I did eat. I ate pretty good. You know, I ain't stuffed myself like today. I just been, you know, I've been on my little fast thing today. You know, you eat a lot yesterday, you can't just be piling it on, you know what I'm saying? So today I hadn't really eaten anything. Today I had my coffee, and after that I've just, you know, I haven't eaten anything. I've been on my fast thing, you know, I'm keeping it down, keeping it in shape, baby. Trying to keep it all good, baby. You hear what I'm talking about, baby? Baby, we here. Getting ready, you know, as it getting cold, it's getting into them cold months, man. You know, you trying to shape it up for, you know, coming around for the spring and the summertime, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it all together. All right, but yeah, it was pretty good, man. Mom's threw down the spread. You know, when we got over there, she had it all going. Only thing that wasn't ready was the baked macaroni. So we sat around talk. I always enjoy sitting around talking to moms. You know, she was kind of charging my battery spiritually. You know, she good with the Bible. She be talking good game, breaking it down. All right. Tasha said I didn't either, but I'm eating some barbecue today. All right. So good. All right. So I ain't gonna ask about Sean. Sean he probably tore it all down, man. He probably tore it all down and ain't got too much left. My dog Sean probably tore it all down, man. All right, but hope y'all had a good Thanksgiving, man. I did, man. You know, this is a Thanksgiving weekend for many people, man. Y'all enjoy, my working folk, y'all enjoy your 4 days off, man. Get you some rest, chill. You know, the Pelicans play today at 4 p.m. We'll be firing up the live scoreboard. Following around about 6 o'clock or 6:30, we'll have the Pelican post-game report recap. Me, DC, Lex will be in the building. We will open up the phone lines for the Friday stream to talk about the Pels. They got a tough matchup against Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies. That's going down at 4 o'clock today. So that's where we at. So anyway, with that being said, y'all do me a service. Hit the like button if you hadn't hit it. Hit the sub button if you hadn't hit it, and hit the notification bell. Also, feel free to share the show's links on your social media feed. All that shit's free. Also, feel free to check out our great sponsors of the platform, Mint Mobile. They got deals there on their phones. And look, if you do the budget on your cell phone, man, do your budget. You might be overpaying. So check out Mint Mobile. They might have a deal for you. Matter of fact, they got a deal going on. Y'all might want to check them up. The link is in the description section. Teej Henley and Betonline, man. All those links are in the description section. They support Tacoma, so we need to support them because they are our sponsorships. They help out. So with that being said, man, I'm going to get on up out of here. I'm going to holler at y'all on the Friday. What today is? Friday? I said Friday. On the Sunday stream, we'll be back at around about 11:40, 11:45 for the preview match. Well, actually, shit. Yeah, we probably going to end up doing the game is for 3. So it's probably going to be a later game. So probably like 2:45. That's what we'll do. But they'll probably still have a live scoreboard for 12 o'clock because we usually do that. They'll have a live scoreboard for whatever team playing at 12. And then we'll follow it with the preview at 2:45 going into the game because it's an afternoon game for 3. Almost got knocked out of my rhythm right quick. All right. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next one. For my Pelican people, I'll see y'all later on. For the rest of this Black and Gold family member, I'll see you on Sunday afternoon at 2:45. Peace, and who that, baby?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Betonline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Betonline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on all the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That Too.